What up? This video is about morning routines. Number one, why they're awesome and necessary. And number two, what are the essential elements of a morning routine? There are 7 that I've found so far. And there might also be a boisterous baby making noises in the background while this video is being shot. What are you gonna do? The baby likes mornings too. That's what he's saying right now, actually. So, why is the morning the best time to have a ritual that sets you up for success? Well, humans are diurnal creatures. Whether you like it or not, we are designed to operate during the daytime. When the sun is up, we do stuff, and when the sun goes down, classically, for the last 5,000 years of our existence, we also bring ourselves to sleep. So the better that you can align with the rhythms of nature, in this case the rising and setting of the sun, the more effective you'll be, because the more at home you'll be. As it turns out, any amount of sleep that you get before midnight, so say you go to bed at 9 p.m. and you get 3 hours of sleep before midnight, those 3 hours are worth 4 times as much as 3 hours of sleep that you would get after midnight. That's just how amazing aligning with the way that your body's supposed to operate is. So go to bed early, you wake up early, you get way higher quality of sleep than even if you slept the same amount, but just shifted it more towards the night. Number 3, when in the morning, before everything is awake and moving and the hustle and bustle is underway, that's just your time that you have to yourself. It's distraction free. There's no emails to answer. And there's nobody that is, asking you to help solve their problems or trying to ask you questions or anything like that. It's just pure sweet freedom. And that's the time also, since you just came out of sleep, that your subconscious and your conscious mind are the most jived together. And that's very powerful because your subconscious mind is actually the thing that propels you forward or hold you back. It's like you really only have control over 20% of what our body does, muscularly speaking. And 80% of what goes on, our heart beating, our intestines pumping food through the digestive system, that's all parasympathetic, subconscious stuff. And so the mind is no different. 80% of what the mind does happens like below our conscious awareness. And that's the powerful stuff. It's like an iceberg, right? The substance is below the surface. So in the morning, after you just finished being in subconscious dreamland, and now you're coming back into conscious land, you can bring that power of the subconscious with you and apply it to whatever it is that you are intentioning. So just ask, or just do a little bit of research, and you'll find out that pretty much anyone who's been successful has like a strict morning routine that they swear by. Some people even like get up crazy early, like 3 a.m. They go to bed at 8, wake up at 3, and then by the time everyone else is awake, like their day is already done, and they can just hang out because they've already done all the stuff that they know that they need to do to move forward. So that's why a morning routine is important. How to accomplish said morning routine? Like I said, there are 7 key elements that I have discovered. Number 1, you have to transition properly from sleep. We talked a little bit about the fact that you're going from subconscious to conscious. So you want to try to harness that as best you can. And let me tell you a way to not harness that. Your alarm goes off, you roll out of bed, you hit snooze, or you stop your alarm on your cell phone, and then, oh, well, my cell phone's in my hand, I might as well see who liked my shit on Facebook, or respond to text messages that I might have gotten over the night, or a string of junk mail messages that for some reason I haven't turned the notifications off on my phone. Don't do that. Go as long as you can after you wake up. Just don't look at your cell phone, or at least have it on airplane mode. Don't respond to the blogosphere or any of the messages or distractions or blurbs or little red alerts that might be plaguing you. Instead, just try to remember what you dreamed last night, or how you feel right now, or what do you want to do today. And make your bed. Proper transitioning out of sleep means that you physically close the chapter on your sleep by making your bed and then moving out. Number 2 is drink some tea. Tea is more than just a beverage. Tea is life itself. It's medicine. It's also hydration, so you could drink a 16-ounce glass of water when you wake up, which you probably should. But even better would be to drink 16 ounces of tea, because that's water with extra goodness that you're going to want in order to be most effective and most on. Some suggestions for tea include nettles, especially if you're here in the Northeast. Nettles grow wild around here. They grow actually wild pretty much in a lot of places. But they just have amazing tonifying properties. A tonic, in the strict definition of the term, means something that helps to restore balance in your body. So certain herbs are tonics, or they have tonifying qualities. Like ginseng is one that everyone knows about. Nettles are another. There's a lot, actually. And rhodiola is one. And they just, if you're feeling a little low in some areas, then they'll help you bring you up. But if you're feeling a little too like manic in other ways, then they'll help to restore the balance and bring you back into center. So vital, especially in the morning. So nettles are a magnificent one, my favorite. There's no caffeine in it, but it does give you kind of like an awakening sort of, just mental jumpstart, acuity, like you're kind of in control. Peppermint is another great one. This one's really actually good for your digestive system. It's warming, and it just helps to smooth out any weird feelings you might have in your stomach or in your gut. It's a great, just as a side note, you can have it anytime after a meal. That's why it's kind of like people got into the habit of having a mint after a meal. It's the same idea. I mean, it freshens your breath, but it also just helps to kind of like get the process of digestion going smoothly. So peppermint in the morning helps to awaken and to get that same sort of thing to happen. Of course, green tea, white tea, even black tea. Green tea and white tea are going to have more of the good polyphenols and organic whatnots, that like antioxidants and all that stuff that people tout green tea as being health beneficial for. Black tea is cooked, so some of that stuff kind of gets demolished in the cooking process. but it's still a good beverage if you enjoy the taste. Um, ginkgo biloba is another great sort of tonifying herb. It's more of just, it helps to increase circulation, especially in your blood vessels and in your brain. So people use it as like a nootropic to help with focus and alertness and stuff. Um, and gotu kola. Gotu kola is a revered herb for its ability to work on the body, the mind, and the spirit all together and elevate the three. So you can look for those in like tea blends, tea bags. Any major like tea brand is going to have some sort of like morning awakening, reviving sort of tea. And if you look at the ingredients, probably you'll find gotu kola, ginkgo biloba, some sort of green tea extract. Maybe even some nettles. But you can go wholesale and get whole leaf, and that would be even way better because the leaf, when you buy a whole leaf tea, like that's the good stuff. They took like the creme de la creme, and then packaged that up and gave it to you. Versus when you get a tea bag, that's pretty much just what's left over after they take the whole leaf stuff. It's just like the shaky, sort of like powdery schmegma that's left from the plant product. So most of the goodies that you want from the plant are going to be in the whole leaf versus in like a tea bag. So number 3, take a dump. A bowel movement is an essential part of life, and it should be an essential part of your morning routine, because the sign that your insides are working properly, come back to life, and that you ate dinner, you had 8 hours to kind of move things through. When you're sleeping, everything is working as it should be ready for a poop when you wake up. Kind of an old wives' advice is to poop before you eat in the morning. Now, that might not happen to you right away, but think about it. Like pay closer attention to how when your poops are happening, and also like how they look, how they coagulated. It's like a terrific indicator of what's going on the inside. Number 4, you need to awaken your body. So any number of practices can help with this. You can do a few push-ups in the morning, just kind of get the blood flowing real quick. You can do sort of like a joint by joint assessment warm-up, which kind of initiates a movement in your neck and your shoulders and your hips, your wrists. Nothing. You're not trying to sweat. You're just trying to get the juices to flow and feel and get back into your body and feeling it. My favorite strategy for awakening the body is to do standing qigong meditation. So I just stand and breathe deeply and set a timer for 15 minutes. Could be 5-10 minutes even. That's also useful. And just try to breathe as uninhibited as I can and as profoundly as I can. And really feel my body shifting around, harmonizing with gravity. Feel like the energy that starts to pool up in my hands and my arms. And freeing any blockages. Because when you're standing and you're breathing and you're feeling your body, your attention and your awareness is all there. It's not in the affairs of your day or what do you have to do or haven't done yet, or because none of that's happened yet because it's the morning. Then you can feel that sort of stuff. You can feel like, oh man, like maybe I slept a little weird because my neck feels different or tight, or man, my glutes are a little sore from that workout I did yesterday. That would be great. Awaken the body. The next one, focus the mind. So far we have transition from properly out of sleep, make yourself some tea, take a poop, awaken the body, and then focus the mind. That's number 5. So again, there are many ways to do this, depends on your choice. But the morning is the best time for this because the mind is the most free and the most clear and the most receptive to new information or new patterns of thinking, new stories. Once it's filled with all the garbage that's about to get thrown its way, it's a lot less receptive. It's in kind of like defense mode. But in the morning, the shields are down and you can really do good work. So for me, that means reading some wisdom literature. Can be any scripture that really resonates with you. For me, the Bible is just filled with amazing life lessons and ways to live and see and feel and love that I wanna become more and more. So that's my time in the morning to try to download that. And then journaling. Journaling is key. A lot of people have trouble with journaling because they don't know what to write about. But the whole point of journaling is not to intentionalize what you write about. It's to observe actually what you're thinking, at least for me. There's all kinds of methods of journaling. And some of them are super valid. People like, different organizations or whatever, different mantras. But for me, I just like to go stream of consciousness. Whatever's going on, bouncing around in my brain, whatever I've noticed from the meditation and from just like that quiet space that I've created in the beginning of the day, that's what I'm writing down, and I'm seeing it. It's becoming like I can get an outside perspective on it, because when it's in my head, then it's just bouncing around like a pinball machine all around me. It's really hard to see. I'm like looking in each direction, right? But when it's out there in front of me, now I can assess it, I can see it, and I can decide, is that something that I want to be thinking? Is that a story that I really believe, and that I want to take with me, yes or no? And if yes, great. And if no, then there it is, and I can deal with it and infuse a new story instead. So that's number 5, focus the mind. Number 6 is elevate the spirit. So we did body, we did mind, now we're doing spirit. So you're pretty much ready to go, and now you just want to connect and just revitalize. And so anything that has to do with just vibing, resonating with life. It could be tending a garden if you have some plants that are under your care. It could be, other human beings that have come into your life recently that you have to take care of. Or it could be a pet. It could be going for a walk and seeing other humans moving about. Could be just writing down something that you're thankful for, or sending that to somebody who needs to hear it. Tell them that you appreciate them, a loved one. So great for just like making you feel like you're already living in the space that you want to be in. And then the last one, very last one, number 7, is nourish your body. So breakfast is really important. Breakfast is king, the most important meal of the day. Unless you are intentionally not eating because you want to fast for body composition purposes or for detoxification purposes. which are super valid. But in general, most people are going to have something for breakfast. They should have something for breakfast because they're going to go straight into their day, and they need to be focused and they need to be on, and so they need to have good nutrients in order to make that happen. So a smoothie, eggs in any format, like steak and eggs over easy with some salad, or greens, an omelet. Eggs are great. I You should never ever feel guilty about eating eggs, the whole egg, yolk and all. I have 3 eggs every single day, and if I don't get them in the morning, I make sure and I have them later on in the afternoon as a snack, like hard-boiled eggs. But breakfast, make sure you get it in. Oh, the other reason that you wouldn't have breakfast is if you're about to work out, and again, like you want to do a fasted workout, which is gonna call on more fat from adipose tissue, aka like fat cells, to be used as fuel for your workout, which is super valid too. But just bear in mind that it's not going to be the highest performing workout, because that sort of energy is a little bit harder to get at. Your body needs to work. So if you are about to engage in an athletic competition, that's not something that you want to do in a fasted state, right? Because you want to be performing at your absolute maximum for that. But if you're just going to do a workout and your goal is to lose fat, doing a fasted workout is a pretty good idea. So that's it. So those are the 7 things that make up an amazing, rejuvenating morning routine. Proper transition out of sleep, tea, bowel movement, awakening the body, focusing the mind, elevating the spirit, and nourishing. So there you have it. Don't try to, if all of these things are new to you, don't try to do them all at once, because that'll just freak you out and you won't really get anywhere. These things take time to feel the effectiveness, just like anything. Maybe even a little bit longer than a workout, right? Where you can notice, the differences in your strength after like a few weeks. With this sort of like habit stuff, it takes maybe a little bit longer to really start to notice that you think differently and you react differently to stress, or that you accomplish way more than you did, or you're more productive in your work hours. So just pick one that feels the most fun or most important and do that for a few weeks. And then once that is like set and you don't have to think about it too hard to make it happen, then try the next one. Slow and steady wins the race.